We've had hell for the past 3 days, and basically in this video I'm going to explain how we bought 6 flights, we missed 6 flights, we lost over €1,000, and this is like, it's not even over. At this point in time, we are not back home. We're still in Phnom Penh, Cambodia. We're still stranded here. Little info, not much help. We have been here for 4 days now. We spent the first 2 days literally at the Phnom Penh airport, and we still haven't managed to go home. With all the shutdowns, with all the insane amount of times we wanted to buy flights and they go sold out. And by the end of the video you will get to know if we are still stranded in Phnom Penh or have actually made it back home to Malta during this coronavirus crisis. We got lots of questions basically asking us, where are you? Are you still in Cambodia? Have you tried coming home? And I couldn't really explain it before, so I was kind of keeping it a secret, but the truth is Mick and I have been trying to come back home ever since the 17th of March. Prior to that, I mean, I've been in the hub of the coronavirus in Asia for the past, ever since its start. And it was never, like, it was always bad here in Asia and nothing in Europe. So the second thing started in Europe, we didn't kind of think of, you know what, we should go back to Europe. But once the Prime Minister actually said, you know, it's better to come back home, there might be lockdowns, we straight away went for it and bought our flights for the next day. And in the next 2 days it was hell emotionally, and we missed 6 flights, we lost over €1,000 each, and we bought, the first flight went from Sihanoukville to Vietnam to Ho Chi Minh City. Then the second and third flights were from Ho Chi Minh City, Istanbul, Malta. And an hour before check-in,
it was cancelled.
We realized that, you know, if we can't get on this flight, we're gonna lose possibly €800–900. The second you have the first flight cancelled, you
miss all the others.
And it's not like, you know, you get money for the second and third flights. We would be getting the cancelled flights back, but the second and third flights are still going ahead. And I don't know, at that moment we just like got angry, We spoke to someone there and she started bringing excuses about coronavirus. When I told her other flights are going, then she decided to say that Vietnam will place us on a 14-day quarantine upon arrival, and I didn't believe her. We were the only ones who had this cancelled flight. We were thinking maybe, you know, they just don't want to have the expense. She showed me a photo the Vietnamese ministry sent them, and when I actually translated it, it did say 14-day mandatory quarantine upon arrival, but it said nothing about transit. We booked a flight with Emirates on the 18th to go to Bangkok, just to Bangkok, because we thought it's more of a hub. We bought it just 2 hours before the flight actually left, and upon check-in they told us that Malta was one of 6 countries that had its visa on arrival removed, so we couldn't get there without showing a ticket back home. They weren't allowing us to get on this flight without that, and we only had 45 minutes. And miraculously found a flight 5 minutes before the gate closed, only to be told it's sold out by the time we got to the payment section of the flight booking. And that was kind of a pattern we got over the next 2 days. We basically stayed at the airport for 2 days ready to get on any flight to go back home. Honestly, I think it happened between 15 to 20 times where we find flights that could actually potentially get us home. We're like, okay, yes, we're gonna buy these flights, spend another €1,000, we don't care, we just want to get home. We get to the credit card details and it goes into another time of sorry, these flights are not available, sorry, these flights are sold out. Purchase now. Oh my god, this is the moment of truth. Are we going back home? 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 What's that? Sorry, seat availability has changed. Oh my god. Oh my god, it's happened again. Huh? Sorry, something. Oh, again. Sorry, something went wrong. Oh my god, man. Again. And every time we took a hit psychologically, it was very, very draining, it was very tiring. You get super angry and sad because you're not close to returning home. You're still stuck in the same place you were yesterday, over 24 hours of researching for nothing. And as time went by, those 2 days on the 18th and 19th, things were happening so fast, borders closing. We did contact the situation center in Malta and they were quite useless. The only help they did give us was get to Europe and then we can plan some repatriation flights from either Frankfurt or London. However, our problem was getting to Europe. I mean, we didn't get any help on that aspect. So on the 19th of March, we went to the ticket office of Emirates in Phnom Penh, Cambodia, only to be told, come back next Monday. We're closed this week, we decided to close. There was an embassy of Malta, we're like, okay, we'll go there. It was, I think, like 2 kilometers away. And this embassy is non-existent. When nothing goes your way, it's like we lost, honestly, this battle of trying to get back home. We felt like we lost it. And that was when we decided to rest. It had been like more than 24 hours of just stress, of so many bad emotions and anger and sadness, and you know, we just wanted to go home, honestly. The only thing saving us were the 17 onion rings from Burger King for $175, which was amazing. We have contacted some embassies and now there is a kind of update where the Maltese Ministry of Foreign Affairs and European has contacted us, and we'll just wait until Monday until further notice. We're currently paying expensive rates for shitty rooms. We've kind of set a deadline. If we don't get any news by Monday, we'll just go back to the islands of Korong and just get through this coronavirus on the islands, because we cannot do anything about it. We've given up on doing something ourselves. We went to the Emirates office 4 days later on Monday, and yeah, they told us they're closed till June, which was another door shut in our face. It was our biggest hope. We were, in the meantime, again contacting the situation center, but again they just kept telling us, we can't advise you on that, we can't advise you on that, we can't advise you on that. Listen, I know this is a problem around the world, I know this is a new problem, it's not like people are trained for this, I get it, but you know, we just hope that we can get some more information. Really hoping there could be like an evacuation flight or literally something to get us out of this hellhole. These people who came from Siem Reap told us they had just been to Kampot, where we had gone
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, and apparently it's become so bad, it's become a ghost town. Kampot was a very touristic place and it's shut down, it's a ghost town. But even Siem Reap, which is a city, it's shutting down. So far Phnom Penh has been quite alright, but you know, there are the fears that
It's only a matter of time.
yeah, only a matter of time. I'm not too confident about the hospitals here. I mean, they're certainly one of the worst hospitals in the world. The number right now is 96 in terms of coronavirus cases, but I bet you that it's at least in its hundreds. The government seems to be hiding its cases and the whole problem in general. We finally decided, we've been moving around every 2 nights, we've decided to rent an apartment for a week. So this is La Casa del Cambodia. This is our new basically apartment. We rented it for a week. God knows how long we'll be here. It could be weeks, could be months. Word on the street is that Cambodia is going on a lockdown soon, so we do have a kitchen. We have a fridge over there. So yeah, we're gonna go to the supermarket and buy lots of stuff to, obviously, if we need to stay in for days or weeks, we obviously can do that. We had poured money into flights and we were getting anywhere, and we still had to live in Cambodia. We didn't just keep pouring money on flights, end up broke, and still had to be here. There didn't seem to be any hope of any good flights without any problems. We know people who have spent 5,000 buying flights, separate flights, different airlines, different airports, and still not being able to get home. Just 2 days ago, on the 25th of March, Michaela had her phone almost snatched right from the palm of her hands. We were on a Tuk Tuk, and the guy came from behind us. We didn't even see him on a bike, and he literally just grabbed her phone. Thankfully, she was holding it with two hands, so she didn't lose it. But Cambodians are unfortunately going on survival mode as they're starting to lack income. The tourism is down. And we're getting scared because obviously it's getting worse and worse. We've heard separate cases of Western-looking people being chased with knives by Cambodians because, they think that we're the carriers of this virus and they want us out. Bangkok have stated that you need 3 medical certificates, 2 of which, to our knowledge, are not available in Cambodia, which means it is impossible for us to leave Cambodia without a repatriation flight or an evacuation flight. Germany and the Czech Republic have held numerous evacuation flights to bring their passengers from Philippines, from Egypt, from Vietnam. One of the biggest problems now is we applied for a visa extension, which will be till the 2nd of May. And after the 2nd of May, right now the law is that you have to pay $10 a day for every day that you're here after the visa extension expires. We asked whether this would be waived because of the problem with the coronavirus, and we were simply told no, this will not, there will not be like any, special treatment. The $10 a day will still have to be paid. And that's insane. That's saying we have to pay €300 a month fine. We have to pay €400 a month to rent this studio tiny apartment. We have to pay for food and water and just daily living needs like toilet paper and garbage bags and all this. And we really don't see how we can spend months here. I mean, the coronavirus, no one knows how long it will be. I think this kind of frustrated group of strugglers, all had been a week trying to go home.
They're all going tomorrow at 10:30.
The British are going to the embassy at 10:30, and we're going to try and
Kind
start
of
a riot.
protest, basically.
Yeah, time to protest, time to let our voices be heard.
So we're currently on the way to the UK embassy to try and get more answers, as yesterday they didn't really give us much information.
This is the international travel advice. And medical test and COVID-19 test.
What, and it didn't work?
No, this is the international travel. The government advice is wrong. The UK government advice online does not say that. That is why people are being turned away. They have a medical certificate, but they can't get a COVID-19 certificate.
Yeah. What happens if we run out of money?
Currently, I have no further advice.
So basically, we're going to get British shit, and we're going to have no food. You're just going to let us die.
This morning we spent, I think, around 2 hours or an hour and a half. We were over 50 people this time, and basically, again, first of all, they tried to give us useless information which is false. They were telling us to get medical certificates which people have already got and failed to get on flights with because they're not enough. Bangkok are not accepting these medical certificates. All the borders are closed, so the only way it seems is on either repatriation flights, emergency flights, evacuation flights. Germany have done this in the Philippines. Czech Republic have done this in 3 places. I can't understand why the UK or Maltese, or we're Maltese, we have been literally left in the dark, barely any help. They are telling us that the UK and the Maltese embassies are kind of helping each other, so that's why we're going to the UK embassy. They're telling us to that if we manage to get to London, then they'll be able to help us. So yeah, at this point, again, another day of nothing, no answers. So first we went to the immigration office and there was no luck. The security didn't try and help us. He said today is a Saturday out of all days to get this flight. We got it on a Saturday when the immigration office is closed. They have our passports. We've been speaking to so many people, hoping that someone would just come here and give us our passports to get on this flight, which might be the only flight possible for us to get out of Cambodia. And we might have managed at this point, as in not managed, I don't know. We basically, someone in a uniform came to us and he gave us a German number, and now we're just contacting them via WhatsApp, and we just send them the photocopies of our visa application, and we're just hoping, we're just here. Amazing news, we might be able to get the passport, so now we're just waiting around and just hoping that first they told us 9 AM tomorrow morning, and now they're telling us right now we might be getting the passport right now, and we're super excited, so we'll just see how that goes.
What is? I must pay for $1.
Còn không để tới còn qua bị ổn tới 7 ngày 4 ngày còn có giúp nó còn vậy.
Thank you so much. We have got our passport. Woo! We got our passport! We're going home! Hopefully we're going home tomorrow. I can't believe I'm saying that. We haven't had this hope since I think our last, on the 18th of March, like 12 days ago was the last time I had hope of going home. Exactly. We basically have a flight from here to Frankfurt direct, and it was a big hassle because we didn't have our passport, but Mr. Jean-Paul got from the MFA was amazing. He literally spent hours on end calling everyone, and we have managed to get our passport. And as of this minute, we are going home, where we're going to Frankfurt, which tomorrow's the 29th, and then on the 1st of April, supposedly April Fools, we'll be going back home. So we're excited. Like honestly, I had this like stress just come out of me the second we got the passports, because it was not looking good at all at first. But yeah, we have the passports and we might be coming home. See ya, Cambodia. We should have our flight from Phnom Penh to Doha, and from Doha to Frankfurt, a connecting flight, a repatriation flight organized by the German embassy. And then we got the confirmation that on the 1st of April, April Fool, we have the other flight from Frankfurt to Malta, which is another repatriation flight. So today the journey home begins. Okay, so we've been waiting in a queue for 2 hours. It's a queue outside the airport. So many people, mostly Germans. We're the only non-Germans actually seen, and we are on the list. So we're on the first flight. There are many flights because of so many Germans.
Everything's candy.
On the how many attempts? On the 3rd check-in attempt, we have finally got through. We're getting on this flight and we're finally leaving Cambodia. I think it's our 7th flight. Finally on a plane. We are in Europe. We are no longer stranded in Phnom Penh, Cambodia. It is 0 degrees Celsius here. We didn't think about that.
I took the blanket from the airplane.
We have 2 days. Thief. We have 2 days here until our next repatriation flight. They have told us we can't enter Germany. We have to stay in the transit area. There's a transit hotel in Frankfurt. We weren't allowed to get our bags. We weren't allowed to tell anyone that we're not getting our bags. We weren't allowed to have someone get our bags for us. And he just told us on the 1st of April, just go for them. Hopefully they put them in the Lufthansa office.
Even if we're not flying with Lufthansa.
Even though we're not flying with Lufthansa. But oh man, it's incredible. The only option we have is 600 euro for 2 nights, and we're obviously not staying there. That's insane. We might sleep on couches because obviously we're not going to spend that much. Update. We stayed at the airport for like 4 or 5 hours, and after contacting the ambassador and trying again, at first she told us no, Germany have no policies right now. The policy is that if you have a flight out, you can enter Germany, no problem. We went back and we told them. They told us again, no, you cannot enter. And we told them, listen, our ambassador wants to speak to you on the phone. And he didn't seem like he wanted to. He wanted to speak to his boss, and 10 minutes later and we are in Germany. And now we're trying to find our bag, and in this Frankfurt airport it takes like 20 hours to walk to somewhere, so as always in this journey back home, nothing's easy. We went to the Lost and Found where they told us to go and it's not there, and now they gave us a couple of places, kind of like a scavenger hunt to find our bags. We have finally found the bags.
Sturdy, steady, we are ready, feel the fire.
Good morning. Today is the 1st of April and we are actually going home. Today is the day we have a flight back home. We've spent the last 2 days in Frankfurt, no restrictions whatsoever. At first they didn't allow us to come in, and once they let us come in, no restrictions whatsoever.
It's you and I.
finally in Malta. Over 14 days of trying. It's a big sigh of relief to actually be here. We'd like to give a big thanks to the MFA, especially to Mr. Jean-Paul Gatt and Ms. Sephora Gauci. It felt surreal to see my family after 6 months being on the road, albeit at a distance, obviously because of Corona precautions. But hey, at least I got to hug Cooper. We now have a 2-week mandatory self-quarantine, so if you have any suggestions on what to do in these 2 weeks, please let us know in the comments below. Let's beat this thing as soon as physically possible. I mean, you might not be on a mandatory self-quarantine, but you know, make that effort to stay in. You might not be at risk, but there are so many people liable to this virus who might die because of this virus. So, you know, you might not realize, but your actions might kill people. So let's make that extra effort. Let's beat this virus. Damn it. Wait, let me drink. Bye-bye.